Cheers to episode 131.
Cheddar. You're drinking the same beer again, Grant?
Sheboygan Brewing, blood orange honey, fresh from northern Michigan.
I have water.
After a fat plate of pasta.
You didn't eat your homemade leftover pizza?
I had it for brunch.
Ew.
I ate it at 10:49 was the first slice went down today. Brunch.
You gotta wait till at least 11.
Water from Evan, water from Alex.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Today is Monday, Labor Day, September 4th, 2023, 7:14 p.m. Welcome into the number one sports podcast in the state of Michigan. And NFL football is back starting this week. The lines open this season in 3 days. 3 days.
3
Team
days.
is practicing at Allen Park Fieldhouse today. Not Fieldhouse, Allen Park facility today to get ready for
There's no Fieldhouse.
I was thinking of, can you think of what I was thinking of?
Yeah, Hinkle.
Nope.
Banker's Life.
The Jayhawks, where the Jayhawks play.
Allen Fogg.
Boom. Allen Fieldhouse.
Allen Fogg Fieldhouse.
That's not what it's called.
That's the real one, yes.
Allen Fieldhouse. Today's show, what are we going to talk about? We're going to check in what has transpired. Did Evan win another golf league? We'll see. We'll get that from him in a couple of minutes. News and notes, college football being fully back. We'll do a little bit. I think this is some new tweaks. I think this is our third college football season doing the podcast.
Yes.
I had some thoughts today, just doing daily chores. I think I was vacuuming with my headphones on. I was thinking the structure of the podcast. I think what would be good for college and NFL is off the rip, as long as there's no other breaking news that needs to be discussed at the top. We do like the national weekly recap of what we saw from the leagues, and then we get into the nitty gritty of our teams later in the show. And in terms of tailgating, because that's always been a problem for us, do we talk about the tailgate in the check-in or with the game? I think we talk about anything non-football related in the check-in. So any tailgate you had, any melting moments you tasted, that goes in the weekly check-in. The game-specific things on the field goes in the game notes part of the show. I think those are the two things that I decided on today.
Yes,
so for you listeners,
buying you behind it.
So we'll do that with college football, any national observations. Then we'll get into Michigan State playing CMU. We have done week 2 preview, but playing the Richmond Spiders, so whatever. Same thing for Michigan. Beat ECU. We'll talk about any week 1 stuff that's notable. And then they play UNLV, so whatever. And then NFL week 1, big picture NFL thoughts for the year, like we did with college football last week. Some Super Bowl predictions, any other hot takes we have. And then the Lions week 1 preview with a special preview for Alex that he'll tell us at the end, the listeners at the end of the show, what he's doing this week. That's going to be
I've
juicy.
said multiple times that I'm going to the game on this podcast.
Spoiler. Without further ado, Alex, a little under the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that a thing that people don't girls say that the under the weather voice is kind of attractive because it kind of makes you feel like scraggly or your morning voice? So for our lady listeners, try to keep it together. You're going to hear from Alex about his weekly check-in now. Hey ladies.
So what'd I do other than the game? Nothing.
Hard 40 hours this week at work.
Yep. No, I didn't. Took Friday off. So I got to East Lansing Friday morning.
Happy for you. You were debating that.
Started the day with some 1v1 Four Corners.
What time?
Early. 9:30, 10.
So full breakfast.
Yeah. So some breakfast Four Corners. Solo, 1v1.
That's gross. Respectfully.
Friend of the podcast, Jason, was excited for the day. So I did that. And then everyone arrived for the actual tailgates. Evan included. Evan was supposed to be there earlier than me.
Stop, Alex.
I'll let
Don't
him
wanna talk about
explain
it.
why he didn't. So yeah, tailgate was fun. There always seems to be some weird drama that occurs at tailgates, and there was. And it was funny. It didn't bother me, but it was funny to watch.
Any tidbits to give? Or do we have to go full off the record?
Probably have to go full off the record. Yeah. But good. It was a good tailgate. Good fun. Good to see people.
Any archaic tailgating rules that are new this year? I feel like that's a storyline every first football game where like MSU has new parking lot rules that are like, why are we doing this?
No, we're at a house.
No, I don't think so.
We're not even
We're
parking.
at a house. We don't have to worry about it.
Nice, yeah. That makes it
We're
easy.
right in the middle of all the houses.
We're prime time
Tables,
location.
yards. Yep, it's actually pretty cool. And then other than that, I played golf yesterday, Sunday, for my father's birthday.
Happy birthday, Garrett.
Yeah, happy birthday, G. I
Guess
played
the
Egypt.
age.
53, no guessing.
I was going to say 52. I would have been close, Garrett. Slightly younger.
1970. Same age as your dad, Grant.
Wow. Is this too much info for your dad? I feel like we're giving a lot of his government info away right now.
Played at Egypt Valley in Grand Rapids. It's a private country club.
Egypt Valley sounds crazy.
It's a fun fact. Jordan Spieth finished second in the U.S. Junior Amateur there.
That is a fun fact. That's actually a really fun fact.
Yeah.
Forest Hills, Michigan?
Yeah. Was that Grand Rapids area?
Oh my God, this clubhouse is immaculate.
Yeah, it's humongous clubhouse.
I love that rock formation like on the side there. That's great landscaping. Wow.
It's a nice course. I wasn't feeling my best, I'll be honest. When I stepped up to the first tee, it was hot, sweaty. I was coming down with a sickness, and I was a little hungover. But we battled through and enjoyed the day. Shout out my kart partner, Lou.
Nice.
And then went out to dinner and got home late. And then today I've been recovering because I do not feel that great. I probably have COVID Jr.
Credit
Not full
to you for
COVID.
being here.
But COVID Jr.
Are you masking up tomorrow?
No. Nope.
So your dad's 12 years away from the forward tees?
7. 60.
60s is the cut?
60, yeah.
He's going to
Actually, I
clean
think
up.
it's 50 you can go forward.
No way.
Yeah, the senior PGA Tour is like, or the Champions Tour, I think it's 50 and up. So you can move up now, I guess.
That is a huge
We
development
played
for
back
league.
yesterday. We tried to be good golfers, and we played back.
You guys always do that. It's so stupid.
I hate it. I hate
Bob
it.
struggled. 120.
Just snuck it in there. Oh, that's mean.
There were
Sorry,
some
Bob.
big scores yesterday. I mean,
I might
big
delete
scores.
that number just for his sake.
There were some bad scores yesterday.
Evan, anything to report from your neck of the woods?
Oh, let's see.
Hard 40 hours at work, probably 55 between your different jobs.
And then, well, technically Friday basically headed off.
Nice.
Got up to the East Lansing later than I wanted to, I should say. There was one part of me, I was driving on the way up there, and construction and traffic on 127 is still a thing. So at one point, I verbally said out loud to myself, I said, there's no point in even going. I should just turn around.
Evan's vibes were great, as you can tell.
I was so just pissed off about like what time I was going to get there. I was like, I'm going to get there, drop my stuff off. I have to go park at the skate park and walk all the way across. I'm only have 3 hours of tailgating. This is stupid. Had 4 hours because I got dropped off, driven around all over East Lansing. So that was good. Shout out Cheese for doing that. The tailgate was fun. Great time. A lot of people.
There were a lot of people. And I would say we didn't know most of the people.
I did not know most of them. No.
Nothing wrong
Making
with
any
it.
new friends?
No.
Oh, no new
Actually,
friends.
yes. You could say yes. Alex, you could say yes, too.
Our third roommate?
No, I was friends with him before that.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. We did make some new friends.
And then all of a sudden, Alex just turned to me and said, we're leaving. And I was like, no, we're not yet. And I looked at my phone, and it was like past 6 o'clock. And I was like, actually, yeah. So we had this whole ideal plan of like getting into the Riv, downing a pitcher, and then going into the game.
So we could feel good. So we could feel good about the game.
But Alex's plan instantly backfired. We met the biggest Italian douche of all time in line.
Correct. But he's smoking a cigar.
He's smoking a cigar. What? He was straight from New Jersey. Like, if he was debuting on the show like Jersey Shore like in 2 years, like I wouldn't doubt it.
He was wearing a black polo.
Well, why did that derail
jeans.
your chance to get a picture?
No, we were just in line.
No, we were in line
taking
forever. The line did not move. So we left. We were so old, we got into the stadium with like 28 minutes left until kickoff.
We got there too early.
That is early.
Like, the fact is, I got hungover in the middle of the first quarter because we were there way too early.
It wasn't even like for the student section.
No, we were just there early.
Yeah, I got hungover like probably right before halftime. There's
no beer yet, right? Yeah.
No beer yet.
No, and we needed it.
We ate some melting moments though before even kickoff.
We ate our ice cream sandwich before the game. That's how old we are.
Before the national anthem even went off.
Yeah, I was done with it before the national anthem.
You guys eating it, they're sitting there like, what now?
Yeah, pretty much.
We're usually like showing up.
Like, we got to do something.
So
I needed to move around.
The worst concourse in the Big Ten, probably not, but I just hate it. So packed.
Northwestern is really bad.
Yeah, so packed and crammed. Try to hydrate up, did not help.
I bought 2 waters.
But the game was good.
Haven't ate a pretzel. Should be noted.
Since Grant, you said anything that happened outside of the playing field. After the second drive, I stood up and booed, and got yelled at by a guy 2 rows in front of me saying it's too early for this. And I said, no, it's Central Michigan. They're 4-8.
Fair.
That was that. It was fair.
2 kids behind us.
Both sides, honestly.
2 Central kids behind us.
Oh my God.
No ball. That's
Grant,
just about all I'll say about that.
So
did not know ball.
Who's Georgia Tech playing on Saturday night? Or Friday night? Who was Georgia Tech playing on Friday night?
Hint,
not
it was
sure.
an ACC game.
Hint, it was in Atlanta.
Honestly, not sure.
So you know for a fact, though, it wasn't Saginaw Valley State?
Correct.
Okay. Kid
I can
behind us
confirm that.
showed the fly around Lansing, showed the logos up there, and they said, oh my God, Saginaw Valley State's playing Georgia Tech.
And they're winning.
Quote. Word for word.
Oh, was it Louisville?
It was Louisville, yes.
Dude was a square. Dude was a square.
The dude called the kid that got injured on the very first play of the game stretcher, the whole shebang.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
sad.
he's like, God, Michigan State already, man. They're already getting injured, dude. It's crazy.
Like, dude, bite your tongue, buddy.
This kid.
And then when Central went up 7-3, he said, "Yeah, this is what you get. Mel Tucker can't play for you. You guys
Kenneth Walker isn't here
Tucker
anymore.
can't play for you."
Michigan State's out here going for field goals. Michigan's going out here for national championships. He said that 3 times. 3 times.
We need to set like yearly reminders that the first week is always like you want to claw your eyes out. I'll get into it in my recap, but I wasn't watching this game live, and I was staying off my phone intentionally, and I had 150 text messages when I got back from Michigan State Central. It's like, why? Like, guys,
there's a lot of overreaction in that chat.
People have these takes that just build up all summer, and they just want to vomit them out into group chats, like for the first game of the year. It's insane. But at least you didn't get in any like fights, I guess.
I got
and then I also went golfing, but home course, champions course, friends, family. We did a big old scramble. Good time. My team did not win. I struggled the first 2 to 3 holes to find my rhythm. I was also hungover, and the heat did not help. I drank water the entire golf round.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Alex's sink is loud, man. Wow. I mean, that's coming
He's
from
got
the
his
kitchen.
volume all the way up, probably.
You can hear him.
Yeah, but why can we
You're
hear
no
you
from
from the second bedroom all the way into the kitchen?
Oh yeah, that's the back bedroom too, because that's his recording studio, his piano room and recording studio, and golf and his golf putting surface.
The spare bedroom.
How many groups for the scramble, Evan? Was it 2 groups of 4? Or
There
how many
was,
people played?
There's 4 groups. 2 groups of 4 and 2 groups of 5.
Sounds like a fun scramble. It does. What was the lowest score?
Low score was 3 under, I think, on 9 holes.
A 9.
You guys only played 9.
Yep. I drove number 4 and we eagled it. So technically we got a skin.
Boom.
Nice.
Felt good.
I shot up it.
Today you took a 3-hour nap.
Today I worked this morning, took a 3-hour nap, and Alex, hand up, I did something that you're going to hate me for. You're going to hate me for.
What'd you do?
Got Arby's.
No. Well,
Hmm.
if I went to Arby's, I would have got a mocha shake. Everyone should be proud of me for that. I picked up where I left off of from probably a year and a half, 2 years ago. Game of Thrones is back
I was
on my
just going to say, you
television.
started watching Game of Thrones again. You have 50 shows to watch. You
Yes.
keep watching the same stupid one.
And one of the
Game of Thrones.
longest shows.
And yeah, a show that takes so much time to watch.
I just watched the Mountain the
Unbelievable,
Viper
Evan.
episode right before dinner, right before I came here.
You're going to go home and watch another before bed.
I might. I don't know. We'll see. I probably will.
Watch another show, Evan.
I can't. Actually, Alex, I can't watch another show at my house.
Yeah, you don't have internet.
Correct.
Oh. The internet's out in Tecumseh for the last month and a half for Evan.
Not only at my household last month and a half. It's about to be 2 months.
Because you guys didn't pay the bill?
No, because it went out in a storm, and then it's. I don't know.
No one came out and
Storms.
fixed it.
No,
No.
They're just like, you.
basically.
Just like Spectrum did with the ESPN deal. I heard that. Just
Yeah.
screwed over a lot of people on Thursday night.
All right, Grant, tell us about your
Evan,
peach picking.
so you worked on a Labor Day Classic. I used to always laugh and remember the phrase my dad at Adrian College when they would have practice this Labor Day. Their coach, you can just picture like in the high-waisted shorts with the ball cap down with the whistle. All right, gentlemen, the rest of the country's resting. We're laboring on Labor Day. Get to it. And then like blow his whistle. That's just all I think of whenever someone has to work on Labor Day.
It wasn't bad. I worked the golf course. I got the carts out, course a little bit ready, and that was the worst part. Was
That's
waking
fun.
up.
Worst part is making up. For me, I guess it starts Friday night. Good 40 hours of work this week. Friday night, went to Hibachi for the first time ever in my life.
Ever?
At age of 26, first hibachi ever.
I've never been to a hibachi restaurant.
Oh, Evan, let me tell you. You would enjoy it.
It's an experience, Evan. You would definitely enjoy it.
I've been to Mongolian Grill, but that's
I've
not
heard-
really full hibachi.
I
That's
heard
kind of
hibachi's
like
overpriced.
I got a drink, which was like $10, so I kind of shot myself in the foot there in terms of the bill. But reasonably, I think without that, it wouldn't be too bad. They give you an amount of food. They give you a
get
ton
a
of food.
lot, and it's very.
And we
good.
got an appetizer as well, which you don't need with the amount of food they give you. So it was myself, Marissa, I'll bleep their names out, but was in town, and he goes to school in Wayne State, so they came up. And then there was another two girlfriends that were there as well, random. We didn't know them. So that is the risk you take at hibachi, is you're going to sit at a table where you don't know the people.
I wouldn't say it's a
Oh.
risk. You don't have to talk to them. They're very far away,
Right.
and it's like a big L-shaped
Oh,
table.
Not going.
No, they were right next to
Or U-shaped
right next
table.
to Noah. Yeah, and
I
they were right
guess,
next
but
to,
like you don't talk to them.
I don't
Right.
know. Took a bullet for the team. Good for him.
yeah. So
Yes.
you place your
Just have to go big
orders.
enough
Go ahead.
group so you don't have to sit by anybody.
Typically,
Yeah, if it's
hibachi is a
6,
big
yeah.
group event. Yeah.
Oh, all right. fair.
So they do the whole bit where you order your food, they bring it all on a rolling cart, and they fire that grill up in front of you. It gets hot. There's no doubt. It gets hot and loud.
It's very
But
hot.
their like ceiling fans are like world class, where they're just sucking that smoke right out of there. I got chicken with some fried rice, some hibachi noodles came with it, the vegetables. I got medium spicy. I got alpha by Noah. He got spicy.
How spicy was it?
It wasn't that spicy. And it really is the same sauce we watched, because you watch him do it. He just did 1 dose of it for mine. And he did 2 doses of the same sauce for him. So it's not like more peppers. It's just more volume of the sauce. I did cave. I went into hibachi saying, you know what? I'm not going to be the guy when they like throw the food around. I'm not catching it in my mouth. I'm not doing that.
You have to, Grant. They make you.
How do you say no against it?
They make you.
Well,
you can't say no.
No, I watched a guy say no. I could have if he had chosen me to go first, because I was on the one end. But he did not start with me. He started with the other end, and I watched 5 people do it. And at that point, I couldn't say no.
You should just say yes, and then as soon as he tosses it up, just dodge
Did
your
you
head.
catch it?
Just dodge it.
By the way, I want to be known that I caught my piece of fried
Fun
egg.
fact,
Yes,
I've never dropped it in a hibachi restaurant.
You know who would be 100% at that?
Cormac
Cormac would be 100% at that.
Yes, he would. He honestly could do He honestly could get hired as a full-time hibachi worker just to like catch food to impress people. Like $30 an hour. He's like the
volunteer
main
person. Like if somebody says no, like he steps in to catch it from a distance.
Yeah. They also had this weird thing. Like it's hard to describe, but it's like it's a little mannequin, like a bobblehead of a little boy with like a newspaper type hat. I don't know. And it's somewhere in this boy's body. It looks like it's near where his genitals would be. You pop his head and liquid squirts out of it. And I don't know if it's water or oil or what but the guy sprays it on people. And I watched another table where they squirted the liquid into a lady's mouth. And I was like, you know what? That seems a little weird. Maybe we could rework that of the hibachi experience.
Sounds like I want the hibachi experience now.
You might.
Ivan, you're made for it.
A little unappetizing, just looking down to your right and seeing a stack of raw chicken on this rolling cart next to you. But it is cool to watch him cook it. I'll give you that. That was good. Saturday, flying through, went to the Romeo, Michigan Peach Festival, which
picking peaches.
No, it's really.
I know.
It's basically like, I don't know what it is. It's like the Laramie County Fair, essentially. It is kind of cool. They have a big beer fest, like beers around the world, where you buy tickets and then you cash your tickets in for beers. Like they had Germany ones. Oh yeah, you guys saw that. It was 2.25%, which was crap. I did have 2 spiked Arnold Palmers. Yes. They were delicious. They were so good.
Homemade or the bottle ones, actually, like the actual?
The bottle, the canned ones. I did get roped into riding 3 fair rides, which I held up pretty well. I did the classic pirate ship one where it swings up, then down, then up.
No, that one sucks.
And then I did a hang glider where you lay on your belly and it flies you around in a circle.
No.
And then the last one,
we gotta avoid
the one
these rotating ones.
You stand in the circle and it's round up, and you just spin. You just absolutely spin
not.
on an angle.
Not do any of those.
So Alex has never been on a fair ride all year.
I don't like fair rides. I get dizzy.
If his kids want to go, he's like, "Sorry, kiddo, figure it out yourself."
Yeah, go on there. I'm not getting out.
But I have a tip for you, Alex. So the last one, the roundup, that was the one I did to end the night, and I'd already drank 6 beers.
Oh yeah, if I had 6 beers, I'd be puking.
Oh.
At that point, so I was Googling in line. It was me and Marissa's 2 little cousins. I was the designated rider. So I was Googling. It was pretty good. Yeah. I hammered that after this ride. I can't have any before I'll throw it up. If you keep your eyes locked on a fixed point, you don't get dizzy. And it's so true. I just stared at this little bolt in the ride, and I was perfectly fine. I had my hands up and everything, just staring at it. I was like, this is easy.
Does that make it less fun?
Yeah. Well,
I guess we're not kids trying to have fun. Yeah, it's not fun.
I'm just trying to survive in advance. So I just stared at this bolt, and it was fine. It just lasted a long time. It was kind of boring.
Marissa's too good to ride the rides?
No, we didn't have enough tickets. She rode the first 2 that I talked about, but she didn't ride the last one because we didn't have enough tickets. Because it's 4 tickets a person to ride a ride, which is insane. The Carnies, they got my money. They did. They had They had they had a little basketball shot and then a big basketball shot. Like the one at Cedar Point was like the big basketball shot. Picture that. So you paid $10 for 5 shots. If you make 2 of the shots, two of five, you win a like brand new NBA jersey. They had like Wembanyama.
Yep.
They had Jokic.
No, I've tried this exact.
They had all of them. I'm like, 2 out of 5? That's nothing. Like you can make 2 out of 5.
You went 0 for 5.
We played 3 rounds of it. I made 1 shot. The problem was that in the middle of the second round, I made my shot. And so I got the false sense of confidence, like on the 18th hole in golf, that if I had 5 shots to myself, I could make 2. I made 0 in the next 5. So did not win anything on that. I was trying to get NBA jerseys for the kids, and I failed. But we won some other stuffed animals on like the easier games. I think that's it. Last night we made homemade pizzas. That was my first time doing that because I'm not a huge homemade pizza guy. I made mine too cheesy, not enough sauce. So I will learn and get better for
Yours looks pretty like there was no sauce on it.
Yeah.
Did you par
I
bake
did
it
receive a picture
first?
We did not. No pre-bake. No pre-bake. But we are looking into getting those like pizza oven trays that have holes in the bottom to maybe get that crust going. My crust on my first one was cooked perfectly the way I like. It was nice and dark on the bottom. I just didn't have enough sauce. And it's a shame.
I'm a sauce guy.
So I'll be better. I'm a sauce guy too. I was actually, what saved it was we had some extra sauce. So I was spreading some sauce from the jar on top of the pizza to give it that saucy taste that I
you could have just
craving.
dipped. Yeah.
Yeah. Besides that was my weekend. And I caught a lot of football in between. What's Alex? What are your eyes looking big at? What are you doing?
What?
Someone there?
No, that's just what my face does.
Oh. All right, college football, fully back. What are you guys' main takeaways from the weekend? Nationally, anything?
Nationally,
Anyone rip any?
no great team. The Big Ten is down.
That's an overreaction. My take is a little different. My one take is that there's just a lot of slow starts in week 1. So just to throw it out, basically, is what I'm thinking.
Discard week 1 from Alex. Evan thinks the Big Ten is down. We had the 3-headed monster in the Big Ten East. He's thinking maybe there's some holes in that armor.
Yes.
Grant, your main overarching takeaway.
Florida State should make the college football playoff. They have it all in front of them. It'd be on them. They should. I mean, if they get swept by Clemson, that's a joke. They should run their table.
They should.
Split with Clemson, make the playoff. They just look deep at every position. Their quarterback's legit. I didn't catch a lot. Ohio State score was intriguing to me. I saw some clips of the game, but I'm not going to put too much stock into it.
Watched the whole game. It wasn't a pretty game.
It was boring. It looked like
It was really boring.
Want his quarterback to throw the ball one time.
They ran the ball like 8,000 times.
Did it change anything of how you think about the Michigan game with them, or no? Just throw it out.
I don't know. I didn't.
Indiana's not incompetent.
We'll get to that. I'll get to that.
Tom Allen shouldn't be a head coach, but
trying to think of anything else. Washington looked like the score. They handled Boise State towards the end, so they look like they're going to be as good of a test as we thought.
We're screwed.
I wouldn't say we're screwed.
Georgia, Evan, are you saying Georgia's not?
They were struggled for a bit.
Game, to be honest, but
I was scoreboard watching. I can't say I saw a single snap, but we were reminded by people there multiple times that it was a close game. Like
I think you want returning quarterbacks. You want quarterbacks with experience. This whole notion that anybody can succeed. No, I want quarterbacks with experience. That's who everybody had success besides one quarterback who lit up the world, and that's all ESPN's going to talk about for the rest of the week.
Who? Shadur is a returning quarterback, Evan. He's played
anybody who's playing it in like
Jackson State.
He's played at Jacksonville State.
The clips coming out of Caleb Williams' game are bananas that I've seen. So he was
DJ up in Oregon State looked great.
He had one though where he had legitimately 5 minutes to throw the football. That offensive line was working overtime against whoever they were playing. He had all day to stand there.
Sneaky good. Or the Pac-12 is better than Big Ten. There's a reaction
Pac-12
for
is
you.
the only undefeated conference.
Spicy take. I like it. Yeah, but I do think your point, Evan, of like there's no juggernaut team feels right so far. I think it's gonna be a pretty wide open year of college football.
Who's the juggernaut, Alex?
I think it's just so early to say that statement. It's just so early.
You wanted your
It's
reactions?
fun.
I'm
It
giving
is, but it's fun to say it.
Florida State's going to be viewed as a juggernaut after they beat Clemson in 4 weeks. They're going to be 5-0.
You can rattle
They're going to have
Travis.
2
Travis
huge
got
wins.
rattled early in the first half.
I mean,
Yeah, he did make
some
some dumb plays. I have some questions about Colorado because that
game was
awesome football game. Is there any player you would keep on Michigan State in a trade for Travis Hunter, or would you send anybody out to get that kid?
Anybody?
Currently on this team, yeah, I'll trade
I would send
anybody.
any single player on the team for him. What other
I was
kid
thinking
can
about-
do that?
Right, agreed. It was an
No one.
insane performance, like over
He should
100
have had
snaps or
2
something.
picks. He should have had another touchdown. Yeah, it's absurd.
The only player I think I would just have to keep JJ because you need a returning good quarterback. Like that's too valuable to a team. But he's the only player like I would give up.
You give up
like
Corum.
Edwards, Corum, yeah, for
Yes.
Hunter. Yeah, I would do. Yeah, he's just. I know it's only one game, but that's the spicy. reaction.
No,
I'm
that's
like,
not
yeah, I think
spicy.
I would just.
That's true.
He had the pedigree coming into college. Like he was the number one whatever recruit. Like yeah, he's supposed to be good and he's amazing.
Number 1 recruit, and he is really awesome.
Here's a question for you, because these programs are linked. I gave you the option going into next week to send Mel Tucker to Colorado and you get Deion Sanders. Are you signing up for it?
Yes.
No.
Explain your points.
I think I said it during the game that I would rather have Deion.
I was just thinking. I was like,
My point would
Deion's
just
so
be, well, the exposure you get from Deion alone is just incredible. Every commercial during his game was him, which is just bananas. And he brings in just straight dogs. There's just no denying.
Was it the Affleck commercial during the
Affleck,
game?
and there was a KFC
There's some,
commercial.
almond
and there
commercial.
Was, yeah.
More than 3.
Wow.
Also, he's gotten 2 number 1 corners in their classes, 2 out of the last 3. So he's just bringing in talent. I think he would bring in more talent, and you'd get his son as a quarterback for free, and that would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have to take him. It's a show.
Your point of no.
It's
He had a
entertaining.
lot of baggage, and you just know he's not going to stay there forever.
That would be the one.
He will not.
You know he will leave and go somewhere better.
Correct. So,
Grant, what would you do?
and like we are overhyping it a little bit. Granted, it is the first game. It is a
Yes, we are
TCU. They were
overhyping it, but it was awesome.
ranked, but those rankings are
TCU is for
also
us.
off of no previous games, and this is not the same national championship TCU team as last year.
Scoring 50, though, on a Power 5 team in your opening game is not a small feat. I mean,
Yeah.
that
but it's
doesn't
Big 12.
that doesn't happen.
Big 12. Correct, I give that. But there was other really good quarterback performances, and nobody's talking about it because it's not Deion in Colorado. You take the Sanders
There can
off
be-
of Colorado quarterback's name, and it's just another college football game.
No, I don't think so.
Well, Deion, the coach, is always going to have, even if he
Deion
had
himself, yeah, but
Graham Mertz
quarterback
as his
throwing for
quarterback, they're
500
gonna
yards,
talk about
breaking
it.
a record, like that's not going to be unnoticed.
I think it adds to your point, Evan, like maybe a 3 times multiplier in Keno that hit the quarterback's his son. I think you get that bump.
I mean, Jackson
Because it
Dart
is
went
his
off,
kid.
and nobody's talking about him. DJ went off yesterday,
no one
nobody's
is.
talking about him.
I didn't know.
DJ didn't throw
Jackson
for
Dart was still in
300.
college.
DJ had 5
for
touchdowns
two-
accounted for.
Threw for 295. Shadur threw
3
for
passing
5
and
and
2 rushing.
500. That's absurd. That's an absurd stat line.
I was
really don't care.
I was watching that game with the sound off. At times, and I swore there was at least 2 to 3 plays where I thought the whistle had blown just because of how lack of effort the defense gave in tackling the player with the ball. I was like, wait, this is a live play? Like, you just saw people stand straight up and not even move towards the ball. I was like, this is a joke of a defensive scheme from both these teams.
Yeah, no.
That's college
Colorado's
football.
going to give up a ton of points all year. It's not like they're going to go 12-0 or anything crazy.
Would you bet? I'm just curious, like what they're going to end up at. I'm so fascinated. Like, do they just end up being like a 6-6 team, and this was like their shining star moment, or do they trend towards more like 9-3?
Well, they're going to start 3-0.
Shadur is number 5 in the country and has Nebraska with only one game.
Yeah.
They play Nebraska. Then they play Colorado State, who's dog water.
Mm-hmm.
And then they play Oregon.
Well, they won.
At Oregon.
When they lost.
They lose that game.
Then I think they play home against USC.
Loss.
But then they play against USC. They play Arizona. They play Arizona State. I know their last game of the year is against Utah. So like all the in between games are Colorado State 23, Oregon. Then play USC. Then you have Arizona State, Stanford, who they can beat. UCLA will be. Yeah. I mean, Oregon State, the first week in November could be a tough matchup, but Arizona, easy win. Washington State, easy win. And then Utah.
No Washington on their books?
No Washington on their books.
It's good for them.
So, I mean, like, I guess the biggest thing is that Oregon State and Colorado game going to matter for both teams? Oregon State was 9-3 team last year. They have a better quarterback this year.
Yeah. That's wild.
I think they're going to go 8-4, and they're going to upset one of those teams.
I think he's a former Oregon State quarterback. Grant, don't know his name, but I'm pretty sure that's what
Mike Glennon.
It's not Mike Glennon.
Mike Glennon went to NC State.
Damn it. Jonathan Smith.
There you go. John Smith.
I think
John Smith.
John Smith. And the Oregon State Beavers are coming for that ass.
Colorado against USC might be 60-57 final.
That's college game
day. Because neither team plays any defense.
Hell yeah.
Because even if Colorado loses to Oregon, they're still going to be 3-1, and they'll have the top 4 team in the country visit them.
I think they're going to beat one of Oregon and USC. They'll beat one of them.
So they're going to beat USC at home.
And then they'll lose to some shit team after that, and they'll be like 8-4.
UCLA.
Who knows? It's early.
Do you guys think, pivoting to another big performer in the week, to Keon Coleman, just to get it addressed, were you guys watching it live and getting depressed, or what was your reactions in the moment?
It was more funny to me, just like a laughing funny. Like, some Michigan State fans kind of knew this was his potential.
Yeah. Like surreal. Like, good. Oh my God, it's actually.
Like, it wasn't surprising.
It was. I'll see I don't know. First touchdown was pretty cool.
It didn't stun me.
But by the third one, like, I verbally, like, out loud laughed. It's like, we're so stupid for letting them walk. Whatever happened in that
locker room. We didn't let him walk. There's no world, Evan, where they just said, yeah, go ahead.
Well, he's not playing at Michigan State, so he's not at Michigan State, so we let him walk.
We didn't let him walk. You get to choose when you're a college kid what you do.
Correct, and you also
can't
choose to bring him back.
No, Evan, you can't do that.
You pay him more money.
You can only pay as much as your boosters pay.
You go get endorsements from local businesses that everybody else is shilling out.
Local businesses?
Harper's.
You think Harper's can shell out $1 million for a football player?
For $1 million, Alex, people are giving away free vehicles left and right to the top.
This is Big B Coffee's
fault. You think Keon cared about that? He already had a car. He cared about money in an NFL opportunity and having a good quarterback to throw him the ball and national exposure.
And a competent offensive coordinator that can get him the ball.
He wanted national exposure.
Probably more that, because I was watching the game and I saw him go in like jet motion a few times. I was like, wow, what an interesting concept to send Keon Coleman in motion. I'm sure he likes doing that and it would work. I'm like, yeah, he just stood as far out wide as he could in Michigan State's offense.
The plan for Florida State, though, is the same thing. Still just throw jump balls to him. I mean, like,
yeah, it's true.
He could have done that here.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't be on ABC on a standalone game against a top 5 team in the country to start the season.
Could have 3 NBC primetime games.
Yeah, could. But you can't force a kid to stay.
Yeah, that was just wild. My advice to you guys and all Michigan State fans is just start hammering the anytime touchdown score props. That way when it hits, you're like, it sucks we lost him, but you're making money at the same time. shout out to Cheese for really capitalizing on it, having the stones to do what I didn't really think of doing, because I thought there's no way he scores the first touchdown. Like, he'll score at least one, but
he shouldn't even
the
came
first
close
one.
to the opportunity because LSU got stuffed on 6 chances to get in the goal line. From the
Right,
2-yard
and
line.
I had Jaden Daniels anytime TD and 25 rushing yards. He had like 80 rushing yards, but couldn't get a QB sneak, and there was like 3 opportunities for QB sneak, and multiple times in that game. It was an absolute joke. But that's just being greedy. But he had an easy QB sneak situation, and they messed it up.
Tommy Reese not ready for the big games.
No, and Brian Kelly was getting mad at him. There was some good lip reading at one point. He was like, "Why aren't we going out? Like, why the f aren't we going outside on a 4th down?" Tommy Reese, OC for LSU. He fouled him there. Yeah, I haven't nailed that, Alex. It's true.
Who's the OC at Alabama?
Maybe that's Tommy Reese.
No. Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? Yeah.
Tommy Reese is the highest paid offensive coordinator in college football at Alabama.
right behind Jay Johnson.
Right in front of.
All right. I think that handles national.
Can you tell us who the LSU offensive coordinator is?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Sure,
I don't know if he's getting ripped out because I'm assuming he calls the plays. I don't think Brian Kelly does it. Mike Denbrock.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that guy
fired.
sounds like a squid. Tommy Reese is ready for the
He was getting a mouthful from Brian Kelly. That made me think, how much money? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a monthly. Maybe it's like a one-time. Would you pay to be able to listen to the coaches' headsets during games? I'd pay a decent chunk of change just to listen to at least
Paid
once.
the same amount for Sunday ticket. So $400, $500.
For a season pass to get the headsets.
Just once, though. Just one game.
Oh,
You get to
just
pick the
one.
game.
Yeah,
$500 ticket, you can listen to
they would make bank.
them.
If they ever need to pull cash, just open the headsets up because I would. Oh, it's like when NASCAR fans get to listen to the pit crews. That's awesome. You know how fun that is? Just getting to listen to pit crews talk about strategy, but like times 10 for football because they just cuss each other out nonstop. But I'd also be nervous to find out that my coaches are really stupid at points in the game. Like they just have no idea what's going on. Alex is in the weeds on something right now. You can see it in his eyeballs.
It'd be funny.
Yeah, I was just comparing Noah Kim and Peyton Thorne's stats.
I love that. Let's get right into Michigan State. Beat CMU. What was the final score, guys?
31-7.
31-7. How do we want to do takeaways? What do you guys got on your chest
Do
here?
you have
to say
any
about this
questions
game?
you want to start with? That's always easier.
Why the you guys hype up Malik Carr for him to drop that many passes? Although he did kind of redeem himself.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we said that to
Gloves?
each other in the stadium multiple times, that Grant is going to have a field day with this. Oh,
I'm glad I was on your mind.
I'm glad he caught that
Max. I was like-
touchdown.
I was watching it with Marissa. And I'm like, they told me all off season this is the guy, and he just can't catch a football in his chest.
Yeah.
But
Three
then he
drops?
makes a Moss type grab. Yeah, at least 3, like all within like 2 drives of each other. I think this guy's a joke, but he redeemed himself. Any other questions that I have? Winman. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I really felt Winman's presence the way I wanted. I keep an eye on where he's playing because I want him to be an edge rusher
Sack,
type.
tackle for loss, 10 tackles. I mean,
Sixth best PFF grade for
let's
linebackers
not
this
pretend
week.
like he just wasn't
All right.
there, Grant. He was a third down
Looks like my
stand-up
eyes.
edge rusher. You did everything.
only
My
edge
eyes are
rusher
still in
on
early
third down.
season form.
Starting Mike.
Hand up. Chiefs guy Malik Spencer, good form tackler.
12 tackles.
I don't think he had.
I got 9. Where are you getting these stats, Alex?
9
I
total,
got
3
9.
solo.
No.
CBS does it different. I'm looking at ESPN this time. Yeah, 9 total.
Any questions? No, I say you guys just rip off any thoughts you had.
I'll let negative Nancy go first.
I'm not that
Alex,
negative.
mean.
Well, you think
I
we're a
don't. We
5-1
still
team?
shouldn't overreact on
Agreed.
a bad MAC school. but in my opinion, I think the offensive line still needs a lot of work. This is what I wrote earlier to a friend of the podcast, Luke. Offensive line still needs a lot of work in progress. Kim needs to run more. Front seven will be solid, and Tyrell Henry might be the fastest player that we have on the roster.
I agree with all this. The offensive line stuff made me worried, especially earlier in the game where there was a lot of like in and short situations and they didn't move the pile very well.
But Nathan Carter had 113 rushing yards. I was like, okay, you take away 2 long runs, he probably just averaged less than a yard per rush.
But that kid,
no, he's just good.
To find his name, deserves to be shouted out. Number 10 for CMU, should be playing for an SEC school.
What's that kid's name?
Ooh, it was something with
Bristol?
C. It was a cool name.
Bristol
was his last name.
Jaquez Bristol.
Yeah,
he's good.
Is absurd.
Yeah, he's good.
But with that being said, yes, with the more supposed to be more hype around the offensive line, I mean, I agree with that. That was an early observation I had in the game. I was like, they're just not moving anybody up.
We didn't have any sacks, but like the run game was lackluster.
They have room for improvement. There's no denying that.
But with that being said, Alex, I'll tee you up for Nathan Carter. Go ahead on that kid.
Yeah, he's good. He has the juice, as you tweeted. He's a good running back. He runs extremely hard. And he's not Kenneth Walker, but he's an upgrade from whatever we had last year. And it's good to have 100%.
That. And this is no disrespect to Berger. He scored at least 1 touchdown, right?
Yeah, 8 for 24 and 1.
It looks like, though, when Carter gets a handoff, like when you're watching a YouTube video and you put it to 1.5 speed compared to when Berger gets a handoff.
It is a lot different.
It's a noticeable difference, especially maybe not as much in person, but back on TV. Like, it's like, holy cow, this guy's running like he's never going to get touched. And the mentality of like not even thinking about contact coming his way. I will say, to your point with the Kenneth Walker, he doesn't have the like slipperiness and vision probably that Kenneth has.
Yeah. Well, not many. No, pretty much no one does.
If the hole is there, it's going to be hit hard.
Yeah. And that's what we need.
Yeah.
If you can patch up some of your offensive line mistakes with a good running back, that helps.
I feel like multiple times I was thinking to myself that the secondary, Dylan Tatum and company, Malik Spencer, like the form tackles they had were really solid.
Yep.
Especially for underclassmen. Like they didn't really miss a lot. I mean, really wasn't the 7 points off of like 2 face mask calls.
Their touchdown?
Yes. Yeah, it was like 2 face masks. It was like 2 15-yarders and then a crossing route, which it's the first game of the season. That's going to happen.
You're going to give up some completions, yeah.
The one kid, Zion Young, that you guys have talked about, he stood out to me. That guy looked legit.
He's a monster.
Yeah, he looked really good. Like, that's might be the most feared person I have on your guys' defense.
Yeah, he's
like,
a scary dude.
At that guy, and I was like, don't want any piece of that.
True sophomore.
Didn't really do anything for me watching the game.
You didn't like his chase down sack?
Must have missed that one.
Seems like you just hate on the players that we liked and then didn't really watch their performances.
No. Offensive side of the ball, I think we'd all agree Kim missed a lot of short to intermediate routes early, but his deep ball in terms of just touch and putting it out there seemed to be pretty good. Pretty good overall.
A nice tight spiral. That's true. It's nice. Looked a little nervous.
We said it in the game, Alex. Try that stupid ass screen to try Trey Mosley 3 different times. I don't think it worked once.
That's on Jay Johnson. That's no Noah Kim fault there. I don't know why Jay keeps running.
Noah Kim's fault. I'm just saying whose fault it was.
If we do one more, like throw a deep pass, complete it, and then sprint up to the line to run a 1 yard, get stuff, run
get
play,
negative yards.
I mean, it's just the most predictable thing I've ever seen.
Your guys' tempo was un-Michigan State like. I don't know what the deal with that was.
It was after a big play, and then we rushed up to the line. We threw a screen one time, got tackled for 3-yard loss. So now it's like second and long after a big play. It's like, take your time on first down to get another chunk play.
Yeah, I get maybe you're trying to. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I can't.
At that point, you're not catching them off guard because you're just letting the athletes play, and their athletes were ready. Like we weren't catching them off guard.
It worked the first one, right?
I don't think it did.
Well, we ran down. We were going to go quick. I think then we didn't go quick. Then we threw another pass to Glover. The Fitzpatrick one, we just straight up sprinted down there, snapped it, and took a 1 yard loss. I was just like, why would we do that? Then scored the next play.
Pistol out of 4th and short.
Yeah.
That happened early.
I mean, I guess I don't. Is there really a big difference between going under center and handing it off in the backfield versus pistol and handing it off in the backfield? Is there really analytically
Yes,
a big difference? Because
it is.
Everyone says the stat people say that there is no difference.
I think the tweet you're
There
talking
is.
about
There's a huge difference.
from Justin Thin was saying that Chip Kelly has his theory is that Gunn gives a running back more of a start. That's just not true. And I think if we had Wyatt on here to talk about being a running back, I think most would agree. If you're standing hip to hip or right behind your quarterback and you get the handoff there, that's not as much momentum as if you're already
versus 3 steps.
And if you're running downhill from him turning around to you, yeah, you're not receiving the ball as early, but you're already running forward. Maybe shotgun gives you more time to pick out a hole, but I don't think we need to be picking out a juicy hole on 4th and 1. We're just trying to get forward 1 single yard.
I do think I agree with all what you said. I do think it might help when we have our short town running back we brought in for this exact problem we have. It'd be nice when we actually see him.
You're joining your defensive player now.
Jared Mangum.
My running bit.
Jade Mangum's brother. He's a big bowling ball type running back. So he was questionable, and I think we held him out because we didn't think we'd lose to Central, which is fine. Whatever. Do what you got to do. But
that also worries me. I feel like Nathan Carter just be that guy the way he's built. Just give it to him.
Yeah, he got stuffed twice. Burger on 4th and 1 is not something I want to see again.
That's why I got stuffed.
He's way too slow to be. He's not strong enough. No offense to Burger. He had a nice cut out run. And on that run that he scored a touchdown, we need to mention that Malik Carr made a fantastic block. I watched that back today. You guys should go watch it. Malik Carr actually mauled the dude. Good for him. I can't say he watched ball
earlier in the game.
Yeah,
earlier in the game he was doing it all the way way past the line of scrimmage too.
Yeah, I saw that play actually. Yeah, we scored on that one. I think Malik Carr is showing some ability to block. I guess now that means he can't catch anymore. So trade off.
Receiving core wise, I thought it's spread out a bunch. There was no dominant guy, which can be good. The most surprising thing in the game is Trey Surehands Mosley dropping a ball in his chest. Crazy.
Yeah, not good
to watch that happen. I looked at Marissa and I said, his nickname is Trey Surehands Mosley. And she goes, do people actually call him that? I'm like, I don't know if it's just my friends, but yes,
no, it's not.
People call him that.
Yeah.
The Glover catch down the sideline was bananas. That kid's got some talent if you can do that. And
the over the shoulder one or the
yes, the Willie Mays one.
Yeah, that one was
the
nice.
Willie Mays one.
Good ball.
And then obviously the Henry catch. That kid's got some juice, if you want to call it that. Just when you see him on there, he kind of captures your attention on the football field of what's that kid going to do if the ball comes his way.
That was Mel's first recruiting win over Michigan. Tyrell Henry.
Do you guys overall feel pretty good about the receiving core after what you saw on Friday night?
They're young, and they're only going to get better.
Tyrell Henry plays more. I'll just see my Torrey Foster catch a couple more passes, Trey Mosley catch a couple more, but
I mean, I don't really care who catches the ball if it works. I mean, there's just no reason to care if it works.
There's better athletes.
Let's see a bet.
Ball too.
You don't think Aaron Glover's a good athlete worthy of catching the ball? Because he looks like it.
He made 3 catches.
I mean, it's 3 more than the next guy.
Central Michigan.
Central's got a good corner out there. A MAC Defensive Player of the Year level corner.
I don't think so, Alex. What's his name then?
Let me tell you.
5 minutes later, good
Deion
podcasting.
Sanders Jr. Travis Hunter. I think while Alex looks this up,
I mean,
that
I don't really know how to
obviously
find that.
the interesting thing for this receiving room is the development of like routes and overall sense of the field, because the deep ball shots aren't going to last like all year against the bigger teams with NFL draft caliber corners, but it's nice to at least see the ball skills and the talent really from that receiving group.
Agreed. The deep balls aren't just going to be there all the time.
What else? I guess if there's one thing you took away from this game, most positive, and one thing most improvement wise that you need to see. Evan, you start.
Most positive. Front seven. We probably gave up close to 100 yards, probably rushing, but we have depth there. We are rotating
They ran
2 lines in,
41
sometimes
times.
3. So I'd say the depth and the size there's a lot better.
Negative.
And when
And
we're
then
facing a
one
running team, I
improvement
like
area.
having Cal Holiday and Jacoby Windman.
Cal Halliday's pick, sick. Like he continues to get it done. I don't know how, but he does it.
And he loves Brugger's Bagels the following morning.
They have a nice arm there.
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
Wow. Improvement area, Evan?
Improvement area, I think. Offensive line, we touched on it earlier. It's the first thing that came out of my mouth. Offensive line. Run game, offensive line. Not so much pass game. We didn't give up a sack. It was all right. But run game.
Nice. Alex, same two to you.
Just say the deep. With how bad the defense has been the last 2 years, it was good to see it, regardless of the team, that they looked good. So I'd say that as a unit, they did their job. Improvement wise, I would say getting off to a faster start on offense would be nice. I would prefer not to watch games
You
where
know
it
who our
takes
offensive coordinator is?
2 quarters. I'd like Jay to open up the playbook a little earlier.
It's not going to.
I'm not going to give up on
Never
Jay
has.
yet. But yeah, going to need a little more.
Are you thinking like a trick play in the first series, or
ran
what?
a
I
trick
just don't want to run like 6 straight runs up the middle, or like the worst receiving concepts I've ever seen. Like we can do something better.
I'm going to keep my eyes more on the play calling because I feel like I always
I think he has a
overlook that. But
very
like,
much vanilla offensive scheme wise.
It's a little bland on the passing routes and the route trees that we're running. They look very vanilla and not open early, and then it seems to spread out and open up, and then we run a little pop past Tyrell Henry coming across. Like why does that take 4 quarters to do? But
all right. Into the Michigan game against ECU. Couple obligatory things to say before we get into actual gameplay. ECU, their helmets are sick. The chrome purple was doing it for me with the pirate logo. I saw
Nice.
Michigan fans say we got out helmeted, and I agree. We did. Those helmets were cooler than Michigan's that day. Those were sick helmets.
You got helmet every game.
Evan, well, that's your bias speaking.
No, it's not. You guys don't have Eller helmets. You wear the same helmet every game.
But those are like better than Nebraska's.
Well, yes, Nebraska's
better
worse
than-
helmets.
They're better than. There's more. They're better than Minnesota's. Most of Minnesota's.
No, no, they're not.
Gross.
No,
They got like
Not the gold
a.
helmet.
Grant, they never
Drawn
wear
by
that
a fourth
helmet
grader.
specifically.
they have gold. They have black helmets this year.
All right, Grant, I have a question. Let's just jump to it. You ready?
Yeah. Is it okay? Go ahead. Yeah, I do it.
Your thoughts on Blake Corum?
It's about the Harbaugh.
Did he take
Oh,
a step back?
okay.
No, fine. I'll ask my other question first. Yeah, the free Harbaugh stuff is absurd. The full bullshit thing they pulled in the beginning, lining everyone up in a line, putting the scores up, was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, and you know it. And it's embarrassing.
It's
and you
fake
should be like,
exaggeration.
Grant, fake media too. They were saying that was on their first drive. No, that was on their second drive. So first drive, they were backed up in their own end zone. They ran 3 plays and got stuffed every single time.
not sure why that's important.
Yes,
Evan.
it was off. It was off
What?
script. No, it was off script.
National media was saying, look what they did on their first drive.
But why does that
Yeah,
upset you?
first drive was a nightmare. I was thinking safety was happening.
Correct. That's what I
Anyways,
wanted to say.
but my point is that's just Jim didn't they made it seem like he did something bad or like he was like wrongfully done when the university themselves, probably Jim himself, imposed the suspension, and then we're acting like the guy wrongfully went to prison for murder he didn't commit. Like, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And you know it.
I have to word this in the most correct way of what I was thinking. I'm totally fine if fans, both Michigan fans and non-Michigan fans, think the free Harbaugh shirts in the play were cringy. That's fine. I can admit that. I probably would think that about other teams. Like if Ohio State did that for Urban Meyer.
If Ohio State did that, you would lose
during the Zach Smith scandal. I would be like, that's stupid.
Yeah, that's how I feel. That was stupid.
It's fine to think it's cringy, okay?
Stupid.
But I think the point that people were making that I was voiced on Twitter was like, people keep saying it's self-imposed, which is factually correct, but it's missing the key context of this whole debacle is inside that program. And a lot of people have to be feeling that the NCAA is making a sacrificial lamb out of Harbaugh over stupid allegations, which is why they chose to self-impose him, because they didn't just do
I know why they did
suspension. Which
I still think all of everything that was done on Saturday was stupid and dumb and ridiculous. Like, he's out for 3 preseason games, Grant. Who cares?
But they don't view him like college kids. You only have 12 games the rest of the season. You're not viewing.
You think this was the college kids
fans
did this on their own?
Yes, I think like the free Harbaugh shirt. I don't think Jim's like, wear this shirt like JJ. Like that's because think about it this way. Like we played sports. If I was in high school and we had Coach Romano and and as a team, as a football team, we thought that Al got railroaded by the MHSAA, I could see us being pissed off, even if like nationally in the county they're like that your coach lied. But like I can see where 18 to 22-year-old kids are like, we're gonna say something to the NCAA. The 4 up was a little cringier than
silly
the
formation. I had no problem with like, absurd.
The t-shirt.
Like that's just not needed.
And that's
just play football. Take it out on the field.
Yeah, but it's like, but again, in the grand scheme, it's like 2 seconds of a 3-hour-long game that, to Evan's point, the media gets that and like, oh, week 1 sucks. It's so boring. We're just going to run with that as like the story for the noon slate.
It's not a story.
It should be more about
just like
the football game and
it's just a weird thing to do
or whatever.
You would have thought Jim Harbaugh was dead and they were honoring him. Like you could honor some better things than that if you're going to do that.
I do think strategically it did not help their case when it comes to the NCAA deciding to suspend him less next year. I don't think that helped the case.
No.
I don't think making a show of the suspension is doing them any favors next year. And the Texas game is week 2, so I have a good feeling that if Jim's at Michigan, he's not going to be coaching the Texas game.
Probably not.
But besides that, the Blake Corum,
has he lost his step?
People
were saying
I
he
didn't
has.
See the full game wire to wire. I watched the full first half and then left and didn't really care to watch the highlights because by that point the stars should have been out. He had a couple big runs and he's never been a guy that converts a big run into a touchdown except for Penn State last year. Like in Ohio State 2020, 2021, he got caught from behind. He doesn't break those runs for touchdowns. But maybe the juke moves aren't there yet, but I don't think that means they can't get there. I think overall he ran fine and he had at least a 30-yard run. Granted, the holes are huge for him to run through sometimes, but I'm not super concerned.
Are you concerned about the run game? Because there might be some questions there.
Yes and no. I'd have to go back and look at all the schematics of it, which I don't really care to do if I'm being totally honest. As a middle of the road football fan, I don't want to dive into if they're stacking the box a bunch or not, but the narrative seemed to be that they were daring Michigan to throw, which teams should probably do until proven otherwise. And they did pop a couple big runs. Some of the earlier runs were gross. And I do think it's the first time the offensive lines play together in live action because there's 2 transfers starting on the front. So I think it'll take some getting used to. But long term, no, I don't.
Under 4 a carry against East Carolina.
Overall,
3.9 yards a carry.
I mean, Corum specifically, he averaged 7 yards a carry, which if you had just said that without talking about
I can't mention Donovan Edwards compared to Corum today for Evan's argument because Corum was the better back. So
It's just shocking to me
it's
watching most of the first quarter.
Too.
Is that they ran Corum as much as they did when. Granted, it's been however, damn near 9 months since he had his ACL injury. But don't you want to ease him into the season, or they kind of like threw him into the fire and like Donovan Edwards is an afterthought?
Donovan Edwards did have more carries,
but he did have 2. But
it's very.
First quarter, we were watching it. It seemed like
it was Blake Corum show the first quarter.
And by show, not really. They threw this is a very untypical Michigan game. They threw a lot, and I think that's what we're going to see. I think it's a good thing. Like JJ,
because Jim wasn't on the sideline though.
I don't know. That's going to be a fun little wrinkle to look. And they also were missing Sharon Moore, the offensive line coach and offensive coordinator. He'll be back next week. So any offensive line struggles that could be attributed to that. Like there's a lot of factors that we don't know. I will say this. Their chances of winning it all or winning a playoff game, I think when JJ's playing like that, what I saw from JJ, I needed to. He looked like a lot better than last year and like quicker than he looked last year. Some of his throws were just on the money, like not something I've seen in a Michigan uniform as a quarterback since Chad Henne. I think he's the real deal. There's still some. He almost got killed on a hit out of bounds. Yeah. Killed, like that could end your season, so let's protect ourselves. And 2, they fumbled on the goal line again later in the game. It's a joke. You can't fumble in exchange. He's done that. Well, he did the Michigan State one, and then Khalil Mullins fumbled the one last year. So back-to-back games, if we go back to TCU, they fumbled on the 1-yard line. That's just something that point blank has to stop, or you will not win big games later in the year because you will do that again. So that needs to be cleaned up. There's still some elementary mistakes.
There's one major concern that you can brush off the rest, but I think there's one concern you should actually have.
A big concern from
big? Okay. No, but concerning, yes.
You said major.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it looks like a major concern.
What is it?
You don't know?
No.
Jake Moody is gone, and it shows. That's a concern.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's fair.
You can lose football games on kickers' legs.
He made one. He missed one. He missed an extra point.
Yep.
But he drilled a 50-yarder money, so that is good to see. He at least has the leg and the ability to hit straight, and that was a good kick. Some of them just looked bad. So
the extra point
that's going to be nerve-wracking.
Poopy. You can't miss extra points.
No, you are right. That's a good point, Alex. I kind of forgot about that.
I don't think you realize how good you had it with Jake Moody, and then when you all of a sudden start missing kicks in big games, you're like, wow, this makes a huge difference.
No, I would like it on the record that the fan base knew how good we had it. There was multiple times of people in group chats being like, this Moody's the best player on our team, potentially ever at Michigan, the way he just drills kicks.
Yeah, I just want you to make sure you know, because when you miss a kick in a Big Ten game on the road and you're like, oh my God, what's happening? Like, we might lose now. You'd be like, God, I wish we had Jake Moody still.
Wide receiver stock, Roman Wilson through the roof. That kid looks to be the number one receiver that they have. Loveland looked great at tight end. Darius Clemens stock down. I would have thought he'd be playing more, but I heard he had an injury in camp, so I don't know if that's factoring in. But that's a little depressing to not see him play as much. But I think overall was very pleased with the performance. Like Evan mentioned too, in the first drive, things got kind of like off the rails when your first drive of the season's on your own 1 yard line. Like things aren't going to go as smooth as you want in the first quarter when that happens. So credit to the punter from ECU. Oh, alarming special teams. They got to find a punt returner because the kid they threw back there, his last name was like Thaw, T-H-A-W. That kid cannot return punts unless he shows me something.
They put Carmelo English out the kid for the last one. My guy.
And I think that's probably a better guy to return punts.
Was that kid that bad?
Like
3 returns for a total of 6 yards.
He just wouldn't catch it in the air, which is a huge part of punt return.
The number one part of punt return.
You just let it bounce and roll to the wall.
How'd Tommy
when you could have caught it at the 15
How'd your punter do?
I don't know. I didn't.
45 average. Not bad.
He's supposed to be good. I feel good about cornerback too. That was a worry going in there, but that Walls kid, I think that should have been a pick. I don't know why they overturned it. Actually, I did find out.
Yes.
It hit the wide receiver when
Evan was all over that in the moment. Which was crazy because none of us knew that. And he was just like already on it.
He's all over it. That kid with that I know it's one play against an ECU receiver, but just the ball skills and the athleticism, I like his odds going forward to be cornerback too.
But he didn't make a single tackle.
That's fine. Defensive line looks like the best I've ever seen. I know it's one game. Overreactions. There's your
East Carolina's quarterback was so bad that they made them
I'm
look
trying to
better.
hype up this quarterback. Though,
I just told you the stats, Evan. He was a 4-star recruit.
No, you were hyping him up. You were hyping him up.
He's a 4-star. I didn't lie. I told you the truth. The 4-star recruit.
Never said you did. I never said you lied. I just said you were hyping him up.
And then
for the
I saw
future,
him play football, and he wasn't 4-star talent.
It wasn't. He didn't pass the test. Future wise, it's good to see sophomore transfer from Nebraska, Ernest Hausman, have 6 tackles, lead the team. And Keon Sapp got to fill in as a sophomore DB, and he looked really good too, pass coverage and tackling. So good to see young guys play well. But other than that, the season doesn't start till, I don't know, pick a week on the calendar. It doesn't
week
start
4
for a while.
Nebraska.
Although I heard UNLV runs a cool, it's called the go-go offense with 2 running backs at all times. It looks kind of crazy, so I'm excited to watch that in action.
That's totally going to backfire on them. You need more athletes on the field.
They have Ricky White.
But Ricky White.
Ricky White returns to his
If Ricky...
House of Ricky White.
Somehow
no.
Ricky White... Yeah.
No.
If they win and he has a 200-yard game with 3 touchdowns, he would be the biggest nemesis in
UNLV's
Michigan football
1-0,
history. So there's a
but
lot.
they're bad. Their quarterback sucks.
Skyner.
Yeah, I just
Richmond's
didn't
already
think
also
too,
sucked,
right?
too. Richmond's 0-1, and they're an FCS team. They scored 10 points.
Oh, actually, their quarterback is just a running quarterback. Doug
Richmond's or
Brumfield.
UNLV's?
UNLV's. So they don't throw the ball.
I don't love that.
Why? That's what you're going to stop.
I don't know. The guy from Appalachian State didn't throw, really. I don't think. Unless he did, and I'm wrong.
He did.
That kid was good. He made that team an
I
FBS
remember,
team.
but that kid's really good. All right, NFL, college football. Again, not any previews really for this show because the 2 teams next week should be bad. NFL Week 1, big picture going into the year. I have some stats for you guys to get the Kool-Aid going for the Lions. I have pro Kool-Aid and negative Kool-Aid if you want to view it one way. Pro Kool-Aid is that since, let's see, what was the year? Since 1993 was the last time that the NFC Championship had the same 2 teams in it, back-to-back years.
Same 2 teams?
Okay. Same 2 teams. So from 92 to 94, it was Cowboys, Niners every year.
Well, what a time to be alive.
Yeah, that had to be insane.
And it's happened one other time? It hasn't happened since then.
I don't know. It hasn't happened since then. So the odds are in our favor that it will not be Eagles 49ers in the NFC Championship. Statistically proven out since 1992. That's just probably not going to happen.
Okay.
And if you think about that, and so there's that, and then there's also this. The same single team has not repeated NFC Championship since 2013 and 14.
49ers?
The Seahawks. The Seahawks went back-to-back NFC Championship games in that span. Since then, the same team, one team, has not repeated. So the odds the Eagles or Niners are back in aren't great.
The odds of the Eagles being back in are great. Because they're the best team in the NFC.
It's been a decade since it's happened. I'm just telling you that. It could, but
history repeats itself, Grant.
Sometimes.
Not always.
I'm just telling you, Kool-Aid wise, if it's not likely it's the same 2 teams, and it's once in a decade that it's the same team, you start looking at the NFC power rankings. We are not far behind. There is a real chance going into this year, our Lord 2023, 2024, that the Lions make the NFC Championship game. I'm just saying, you look at the NFC, you look at it, and if it's not going to be one of those 2 teams, the Niners have injury problems.
Best right now?
We had the third best odds at one point, yes.
I'll play at Dallas for the NFC Championship game, and we win that game. 9 times out of 10.
I like your confidence.
Evan thinks Dallas
we were probably in the NFC Championship game. We probably find our way in the NFC Championship game if that's the case. Because the odds are the Niners or Eagles aren't both back. It's pretty impossible for that to happen.
But those are both two good teams, man.
They are. But one has a quarterback situation that's sus.
I also read today, though, however, okay,
We have the fourth
Poisoned
best odds to win the NFC.
poison Kool-Aid.
Yeah, bring us back down, Evan. Bring us down.
The last 17 quarterbacks to lose their debut in the Super Bowl never made it back.
I did see that. I saw it, yeah.
And they talked about Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow. However, Jared Goff lost his debut in the Super Bowl.
But we're just going to appear in the NFC Championship
Grant, if you're
game.
confident, Lions, Eagles, NFC Championship game is plus 1,700. Lions, Niners, NFC Championship game is plus 2,000. Lions, Cowboys,
Those are juicy.
plus 2,500.
Juicy odds.
Dude, Dallas is not good.
Dallas, Eagles is the second most best odds for the NFC Championship game at plus 1,400.
So stupid. Dallas is not a good football team.
I mean, they're not a bad team.
They're not a bad team, Evan.
They're not a bad team.
They're definitely good.
Definitely
they're a good
good.
team. They're a good team. I'll say
They
it.
definitely
They're a
might
good team.
spank us
They
when
got-
we play at Dallas.
DPOY on their team that will wreak havoc for you every single game in Michael Parsons. That Alex wanted us.
They have the best
that.
defensive player in the league, Micah Parsons. Yes.
We have Sewell.
They've upgraded running back by subtraction because they don't have to waste carries to Zeke. So they have an upgrade that we think.
They have CeeDee Lamb.
They have a great receiver.
They have a worse offense coordinator.
They have a good offensive line.
That's true. Offensive coordinator.
They have a really good defense.
I don't think their defense is really good. They
It
have
was really good last
player
year.
on their
It
defense.
was really good last year. They have multiple
They have
good players on their
defense.
defense.
I don't know if it's it.
Who? If you're going to say Diggs, he's overrated.
He's still considered a good football player.
Can you name the other good players on their defense, Alex?
I would have to look.
They signed Gilmore.
They're a
He's
good
old.
defense, Evan.
He's old.
Don't they have a good guy that starts with an A on the defensive line that people are probably like screaming in their headphones right now that we don't know ball? But they have another good player. Oh, they have Mozzie Smith.
They drafted all Michigan players.
Schoonamaker.
They had the seventh best
Dog.
defense in the NFL last year, Evan.
Oh, DeMarcus Lawrence. I'm such a
He's
dumb
overrated.
idiot.
Evan, they had the seventh best defense
Evan.
in the NFL last year. And for reference, that's the third best defense in the NFC, which is right where they're slotted.
Van Der Esch is a solid guy right in the middle of the
They
defense.
want to get rid of Van Der Esch 2 years ago.
Just a reminder,
Dorrance
Evan,
Armstrong also.
we have the
needs
worst
a
defense
quarterback.
in the league.
Not true. Not anymore. Well, I guess until we prove it, right?
I also heard a stat this morning at Good Morning Football that says that Patrick Mahomes has never lost a regular season game to an NFC team.
Until
That's good for my guy,
Yeah.
Patrick.
that hurts.
He's a good football player.
The negative Kool-Aid that I had to balance out my own stat is since 1970, the Lions have appeared in the least amount of NFC championships with a whopping total of 1.
Yeah, but we knew that.
1 since 1970. For comparison, the Niners have been there 18 times since 1970. We've been there once.
Niners have been there 18 times.
18 appearances in the NFC
18 in
championship game.
43 years.
Then I'm not going to be surprised
53
if they
years?
make it again.
Yes, you
Whoa,
will.
whoa.
Brock Purdy's not built to last.
18
Everyone
in
loves Brock
53
Purdy.
years.
I'm a Brock Purdy hater, though.
Should we do Super Bowl predictions?
Sure.
1 in 3. That's blowing my mind. 33% of the time they've been in the NFC Championship game.
It is
Grant,
jarring.
you go first.
Well, I think for fun, yeah, no, I got to do this. I think I have to do this. Bills, Lions, Bills win.
In the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Why not? Two fan bases that are just starved for it. That would be an awesome party scene. Bills win. Sadly. Our year's next year. When JMO's back. I always need to drink of water to digest that. Who cares? Get crazy.
Super Bowl prediction.
Matchup and winner.
Matchup and winner. Go ahead, Alex. You look ready.
Bengals, Eagles. Eagles win.
Oh, so lame.
I like that,
Of course,
actually.
that's in Vegas, so we're going to have a team somewhat close to it. So I'll go 49ers, Chiefs. Chiefs go back-to-back.
Safe pick.
Rematch of Super Bowl live.
Yeah. Super Bowl
Yes.
COVID.
And Garoppolo
Pre-COVID.
missed
And now-
Emmanuel Sanders.
And now Brock Purdy throws that interception. Everyone's like, oh, well, whose problem is it? It's like, well, you don't have a Super Bowl caliber quarterback.
Well, who's Mahomes going to throw that jump ball, that lollipop to Tyreek Hill that he just ran underneath?
Yeah,
Travis
I
Kelce
worry
is
about the
gonna have
receiving
14
core for
catches.
Kansas City, but
Do you?
a little.
What's the difference
Even
between last
worse.
year and this year?
It's even worse.
Actually, no, they drafted a rookie out of SMU.
They drafted a rookie last year, Evan, on a Western.
I dropped him today in fantasy. I heard he's only going to platoon. I didn't like to
They
hear
lost
that.
Juju.
Juju wasn't anything for him last year.
He was actually pretty good in the playoffs.
Didn't he have a good playoff?
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking
Yes.
back.
Sky Moore did score a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I remember Pacheco being the MVP of the Super Bowl or playoffs besides Mahomes.
Travis Kelce's
They
still
run
really
it way
good.
more in the playoffs anyways. They don't even throw the ball that
Don't
much.
forget they have Travis Kelce.
I'm not counting Kelsey. He's already cemented.
Every time you have Mahomes, you have a chance.
Well,
That's just how that works.
we're about to play him
Kadarius
on
Toney.
Thursday night to open the season. And Alex is going to be there.
Yep. Live.
We do have a question.
Alex is going to be there and Chris Jones is not. Wow, good for you.
Chris might be there. He just won't be playing.
That's a crazy sentence. Got a text listener question. Will there be an Arrowhead wide Burt chant this Thursday night?
No.
Probably not.
Would be
No?
cool, though.
Oh,
If you can get all of Arrowhead to chant Burt, could you imagine?
Burt.
You guys just start
All
watching on
Lions
TV.
fans after a touchdown.
You just hear the Burt chant going. It'd be crazy.
No, what I could picture though is if the Lions won and all the Lions fans stuck around and like went down to where the NBC booth is, like post game when they interview Goff or Hutchinson after his 3-sack performance, and then you're just around with all the Lions fans and you're going, Burt. I could hear that like late night.
That'd be funny.
This game I was listening to the Bill Simmons NFC over-under betting preview. I like listening to that just to
He
remind
hates
myself where all the lines are at because I don't look them up. He said some mean things today. He said the Lions would be lucky not to give up 38
Yeah,
points.
he doesn't-
And I don't know if that's the harsh
doesn't
truth
like
or
us.
we are expecting
thinks we're a
to get that
laughing
many
stock.
dropped on us.
38 points.
I think we might.
The implied total from Vegas is 30 right now, is what we're supposed to give up based on the spread and over-under.
For what, we're losing 30-24.
Yeah, that's what they're kind of projecting. 30-23,
I don't hate that.
30-24, around there. No, that'd be super respectable, actually.
It's not bad.
I don't know what to think. I really don't. The Lions season snuck up on me. I just hard to like the Chiefs are so good, but like when you talk, like we were
So
talking
you
about the receiving
don't want
corps,
this game
like,
anymore. You don't want this game. When it came out, everybody
No, I
wanted
do
it.
want this game. I want it. I do want it. I want the like hype videos, the narration leading into kickoff. I do want all that.
You want Mike Tirico calling the game, though? Ugh.
don't have to listen to him.
I have this like sick Kool-Aid feeling that we're going to win, but I know that's not right.
I don't think we're going to win. As much
So
as
why
I
are you going,
want
Alex,
to,
if you don't think we're going to win?
because it's
Aren't the Alex, you're a Chiefs lover? Aren't the Chiefs normally a little rocky to start the year? Then they hit that groove from late September to October where they don't lose.
they usually open week 1
that
super
right?
hot, and then they take a little step back weeks 2 through 6, and then they don't lose
And
again.
everybody thinks that the Chiefs are washed.
Yeah,
And then they win 10 games in a row.
Usually they open the season
Yes.
and do some damage. I would say this year, though, their receiving course a step
I'm gonna go
down.
check to make sure that's
There's
true.
a lot of young guys, but they run the ball now a lot. I'm not really sure who's going to cover Travis Kelce.
I think
The
we have
offensive
guys
coordinator.
to help mitigate that, though. I think
He's
we do.
gonna get
That's the
his
sick thing in my brain.
8 for 113 and 1 at least. You know it.
But we have
better
like
stop the run.
I know it's going to be. I know he's going to get cooked at least a time or two. But I like the idea of like if CJ is struggling, we have a fresh rookie who will just run around like
Branch is
crazy.
starting,
Brian
though.
Branch just to like
in a different spot, and CJ is playing safety.
Like I like the idea of him. Are you saying that so confidently?
Yes,
Is that
it's
been
confirmed,
written anywhere?
yeah. Starting safeties: Kirby Joseph, CJ, nickel Brian Branch, and then you have Sutton and Jerry Jacobs on the outside.
They beat the Cardinals 44-21. Well, that's not fair. The Cardinals are a joke. The year before, let's go back. They beat Cleveland 33-29. That feels like us right there, actually.
They're going to score. Their defense
like
usually doesn't pick up until middle of the season. And they don't have Chris Jones.
And no Chris Jones.
And he's the best player on that defense.
They beat Houston 34-20 the year before that. They're playing nobodies. We're not a nobody.
In that realm of them.
That was Houston. That was the rematch between Houston after Houston was up 20-0. They lost.
Yeah, that was a good Deshaun Watson led team.
That was after the AFC Championship between the Browns or divisional round, wherever it is.
Yeah,
they beat the Chargers by 10. I don't know if they've lost
win
in
their
their
opener
under Mahomes. I don't think
with Mahomes.
They beat the Patriots 42-27
they
one
win
year.
Their opener
That's absurd.
They're also raising a banner.
Game.
They're also giving out rings. A sold out Arrowhead with 12 Lions fans.
But you're there.
But I'm there. And I was undefeated at Lions games last year.
Do you think, like, there's a question I've been thinking about with the rookies in their debut at Arrowhead. If one of them were to have a, like, holy shit, this is a guy, who's it going to be of
Gibbs?
You think Gibbs could just be like, oh my God, he's the best player on the field when he's out there? That would be awesome. That would be one of the coolest feelings if Gibbs just has a masterclass in week 1. And this, like, the buzz is like sky high.
Him or Branch. It's one of those two.
Evan, do you have one?
A new guy?
A newcomer. Steal the show.
I don't think so. Because all the other newcomers aren't sexy picks. Like, they're like
Laporta.
Campbell's going to get his 8 to 9 tackles.
Do we think he's playing a lot?
I don't think he's starting.
I can't tell if he's playing a lot.
I feel like he has to.
I just killed him.
I think he'll play, but I don't think he'll start. Probably ease him into it.
I don't know. Gibbs is the only answer. I mean, Campbell, we'll see how he does in run game. That is,
you don't think Laporta could be Travis Kelce?
No.
I have it. That's Alex. That's my answer. I think this could be Laporta could catch 2 touchdowns in this game. And, like, you hear, is it going to be Collinsworth? Is it going to be him and Tarico?
Yeah.
I could see Collinsworth going, now here's a guy wearing 87 just like Kelce. And is he next in the NFL? He's a guy out of Iowa. Like, I could just see it happening after a second touchdown catch. With how much they used tight ends in the end zone red zone last year.
Yep.
If I expanded the question to newcomers, like, do we think we're going to be like CJ keeps the fan love going, and in week 1 we're like, yep, this is the difference maker we needed on our defense to just get everybody nasty mean?
I think he'll have an interception. Yes.
There we go, Alex.
Overhyping it.
So what, Evan? Do you want to predict 56-0 loss, Evan? Do you want to just do that?
We're not winning 56-0, 28-16.
We lose 28-16.
I'm not in the NFL mindset
The
yet. I don't
fifth
know how
best
we're going to
offense in the NFL is going to score 16 against a not great defense with no Chris Jones. That could age very poorly.
Player on most.
You think our defense is so much improved that we're going to hold the Chiefs under 30 points?
No, I didn't give a prediction. I just think we'll score way more than 16.
It's on the road.
Yeah, I still think it. It's warm. No weather.
The guy I'm most excited to see on our offense is boring, but I do think is a huge key to the game. If David Montgomery looks like the clock is rolled back a little and he's entering the prime of his athletic career behind our offensive line, I think that would be huge if we can just ground and pound these guys in Arrowhead as opposed to having to get tricky with Ben Johnson play calling. Like if he can just bruise these people up front with our finally healthy offensive line, I think that's a huge key to our game because that's how Evans Titans have given them fits in the past where they just run them over and they can't. It doesn't get into like this fun shootout game.
I think we will run the ball.
It's not a shootout. We try to run the ball, Alex. We're not going to score that many points. It's going to be in the 20s type of game.
Still going to score more than 2 touchdowns. I mean, I don't even know how you got to 16. Did we go touchdown?
Do we have a kicker yet?
2 field goals?
You could go for 2, Alex.
Who's
twice
kicking for us?
Yeah, Dan, big nuts.
So we're going touchdown, go for 2, get it. Touchdown, go for 2, get it.
We might onside kick the opening kickoff of the NFL season.
No, we better not.
Are we going to go for it on 4th down?
Possibility.
How many 4th downs are we going to go for it?
A lot.
Are we going to see a fake punt?
No, we won't see a fake
all the
punt.
4th downs.
We will
no
go
fake
for
punts,
it
but we're going for all
3.
the 4th downs.
That was the last game that we played. We only scored 20-some points.
It was cold out.
Yeah.
It's going to be hot
It
out.
was freezing
It's going to be hot.
against a good defense. Chiefs defense is nothing.
I don't know what to expect defensive. I guess breaking
know what to
news of the
expect at
news
all.
of today. I'm curious to see Broderick Martin if Bugs is not playing, if he's a healthy scratch. That means Martin's probably working in snaps already.
And Anzareki.
And Nazareki's back. And Pascal.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that makes sense why Bugs might be Bugs being a healthy scratch. I love the guy. He's a fan favorite. I'm glad we brought him back, but it's not necessarily
If
a
we
bad
have someone
thing
better,
because
that's
ideally
good.
you have enough
Yeah.
talent. Yes, we're moving in the right direction. Bugs is like a team leader, spark plug guy. He was huge last year, but eventually you want to bring in more talented guys to play, which I think they found. Kaminsky, I don't know. I just don't know what to expect. I think the linebacking core is obviously our weakest point of the defense, and I think they're going to be my focal point tomorrow night. Or
I want to see Jack Campbell in there on every 1st and 2nd down.
I do too, Evan. I do too. I just don't know what's going to happen.
The last 3 years of the opening kickoff game, a team has scored 30 or more.
Good stat.
So I think we should expect points. Your poor Matthew
last year?
Stafford.
Both teams have scored
Rams.
30 points?
No,
Or just one team?
But I'll give you the scores. Last year doesn't count because, the Rams sucked. But Bills won 31-10. Year before that, 31-29, Bucks Cowboys. And then year before that, 34-20. For some reason, the Packers
All right,
and
I'm ready
Bears
for my
opened the
prediction.
season in 2019. That's disgusting. 10-3 in that game.
I have my prediction,
You already gave me mine.
and I'm just ready for Kool-Aid. And
We're not beating the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes has never lost an NFC team in the regular season.
Evan, you don't have to be so
until
negative.
Thursday night,
You don't have to be.
30-29 Lions.
You don't have to be so positive.
I'm not.
30-29 game-winning kick. We were down 27-29. Nailed the kick. Alex takes his shirt off. 30-29 Lions.
30-29 with the kicker that you don't even know his name of.
Correct. Cairo Santos.
I think it's going to be 28-16, like I said earlier. Chiefs win.
16 points.
That's a win
would be
for us.
disgusting.
Beneath 30.
I think we're going to try to run the ball, and then we get down too early. And at that point, it's too late to come back.
31-27. Late Patrick Mahomes game.
Team was
drive.
a 500 team last year, Alex.
I don't think we're going to win. But I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to score 16 points. 31-27. Chiefs. In a late loss.
There you go.
If we feel to foreshadow next week, if we feel bad about one aspect of this game in our team, maybe position group, what's it going to be? Like, what are we like? Oh God, how did we not see that coming?
It's the defense still.
Wide receiver depth.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good one. Like,
I still think it's the defense.
I could see that where we run some routes or some plays, and it's
You're
like
holy
there's
shit, we
nobody
have
open.
one guy
And
It's
no
like
one else. And we can't get the...
they're not respecting Khalif Raymond downfield. We have nothing.
The oldest receiver in the NFL, Marvin Jones.
I gotta look at. I know they have Trent McDuffie. What's this secondary looking like for the Chiefs?
There are a lot of new guys, a lot of rookies and young second-year players.
Oh my God! If Karlaftis gets a sack, I'm gonna
That's
puke
good.
out. I don't want to
If
see that.
Loftus and Drew Tranquil up front.
We should attack L'Jarius Sneed.
He's good.
Is
Yeah,
he?
he's not bad. I thought he left.
I know Nick Bolton's
Nick
a
Bolton's
dog.
really good.
Our middle linebacker's a dog.
Really good.
They did win the Super Bowl.
They are
I
a
think
Super Bowl
we're
winning
gonna
team.
look if anything is like, oh my god, that's glaringly bad. I could see our linebackers just getting caught in the wash of all the window dressing the Chiefs do, and like the running backs leaking out of the backfield for 20-yard dump offs from Mahomes, and then you just see Anzalone chasing Pacheco 20 yards down the field, being like, oh my god, we cannot stay in front of these guys.
Happen.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm very excited. Scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you
This
guys?
hasn't hit me yet.
No, it hasn't hit me yet either.
It'll hit me on
I
the
think
plane,
Thursday will hit me.
and I'll be like, "Holy
I'm a
shit!"
college football guy. Always have been, always will be.
That one
I'm a
guy,
football guy.
Oh yeah, Evan. Any goals for NFL this season? Are you try to watch more of it this year?
I know I won't be able to because I'll be working on Sundays again, like last year. So, don't know what I'm gonna do. Any goals for the NFL this year?
Watch it. That's a good one.
No, I don't like the commentators for NFL games.
So he's just
They
not
bore me
going to
to
watch
death.
it. Is commentators that big of a deal for you?
Yes, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are vastly overrated.
But like that ruins the fact that you don't
Joe
wanna
Buck
watch
is
a
the reason I
football
don't
game?
watch Monday Night Football games.
That's crazy.
It's Joe Buck's ass at his job.
I like Joe Buck.
I don't know. I don't have a goal right now.
My
I'm
goal
gonna bet
Evan,
on more
is
NFL
to
games to get invested into it.
hell yes, hell yes. My goal is to watch enough football for the two of us because this is going to
You're
be
gonna
my
have to-
first
you're gonna
Sunday
have
in
to hold your
probably 4 years of having free Sundays. I'm going to have all the games on all the
Did you
time.
guys know that Queen Elizabeth died in the opening game last year?
No.
She did.
Could care less.
Wow. They did a moment of silence before the game.
Don't
For the Queen,
I don't
Yeah.
fully disagree with that, man.
you think the rest of the world is going to give a
I
moment
think-
of silence when Joe Biden dies?
I think that's where we end the show.
No.
You know the
Nice.
most viewed NFL kickoff game ever?
Last year.
Evan?
I don't care.
A 14-9 victory for the New Orleans Saints over the Minnesota Vikings in 2010.
That's not real. That's fake.
That was Brett Favre. I
All the
think.
moms in America want to get their eyes on Brett Favre.
Dave Matthews
think
Band
that
and
was
Taylor
good.
Swift performed before the game. And it was the
Now
game
we're
after
talking.
the Saints won the Super Bowl, obviously.
Do we have a kickoff concert? Let's look that up right now. That's how we'll end the show. NFL kickoff concert.
There is always a pregame concert.
Alex, you gonna go to this?
Last year's was
Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. Wait, that's at Indiana. Nope, that's wrong.
Last year's was bad. Jose Balvin and Ozzy Osbourne did the halftime show.
Ozzy
that's
Osbourne.
J Balvin.
Ed Sheeran
dragged his
did
corpse out there.
2021.
Oh, I remember that. I do remember that. That was the draft. No, I can't find anything. I know they had people in Kansas City for the draft, but I don't see anything for this.
They're used to having the
Colts are
opening
having
game.
John Mellencamp.
The Colts, yeah, they need to.
Last year, Evan, you would have loved the Vikings had Mitchell Tenpenny outside the stadium before the Packers game.
They're doing the world's largest
guy.
tailgate.
But he's a
Kansas
Titans
City.
Free
fan.
Bud Light.
Yes.
Too bad you
No,
can't have
Hosted
it.
by
Alex.
YouTube
They can't.
stars, the Merrill Twins.
What?
American DJ
Booty pie.
producer duo Two Friends.
Mr. Beast.
As well as Saturday Night Live's Heidi Gardner. An appearance by Donna Kelsey. Free.
I don't know who any of those people are.
Travis Kelsey's mom, free appearance.
Yeah.
That's who that is. Oh my god.
Yeah. Donna Kelsey.
Two friends and some TikTok stars and Travis Kelsey's mom.
All right, well, so let us know how Two Friends
Yeah, I'm
goes.
going to that.
All right. That is episode 131. Cheers to the Detroit Lions being back.
Cheers.
Rest in peace, Jimmy Buffett.
Oh, thank
R.I.P.
you, Evan. I forgot about that. R.I.P. Jimmy Buffett.